Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. I'm so glad you're here. You can totally think of me as your science study buddy today. We're not just going to sit around and memorize a bunch of boring facts. Nope. We are going on a real journey to uncover the magic hiding right in our everyday lives. So get ready, because we're about to learn how to think exactly like real scientists. Okay, imagine you're watching some kids play. I bet you've folded up a piece of paper yourself, run out into an open field, and launched a paper plane into the sky, right? But what does a little paper plane have to do with actual science? Well, did you know that something as simple as throwing a paper plane actually inspired real-life scientific explorations of flight? It's true. From the early inventors who spent hours just watching how bird wings work, to modern engineers building massive airplanes, that huge dream of flying, it started with simple, everyday observations and experiments, just like playing with paper planes. Honestly, play is science as long as you're asking the right questions. Now, think about a beautiful little butterfly. Let's use it as a metaphor, okay? Just like a butterfly flutters around freely and a paper plane soars into the sky, our learning really takes flight when we let curiosity lead the way. To actually learn something deep down, we've got to let our imaginations completely loose. We need to be super willing to explore new ideas, find little wonders, and literally reach for the skies. So here's the absolute crucial point. There is a massive difference between just memorizing facts and actually building a curious mindset. Literally anyone can read a boring textbook and just repeat the facts back on a test. But a real scientist, a real explorer, they do things so differently. To truly get how this beautiful, ever-changing world works, we have to step out from behind the book. We have to step out of the classroom and actually experience the world through real activities and hands-on experiments. Those experiences are the stepping stones to a way deeper understanding of our environment and where we fit into it. It's all about treating science as an ongoing adventure of discovery, definitely not just a list of vocabulary words to memorize. You know, when we study science in school, it kind of feels like we put things into neat little boxes, like here's physics, over there is chemistry, and oh, this box is biology. But take a look at the examples we have here. A stomach for biology and a Bunsen burner for chemistry. They aren't isolated at all. In the real world, they're completely interconnected pieces of one giant puzzle. A scientific idea in one area almost always sparks a huge discovery in another. Like understanding how chemicals react, that actually helps us figure out how our very own stomachs digest food. It is all just one big, beautiful connected web. And what's so incredibly fascinating is how this brings science right into our own homes. Science isn't just happening in fancy labs with super expensive microscopes. It's literally happening right in your kitchen. Just think about the everyday mysteries we totally ignore. Have you ever paused to ask why some fruits are so sour? Or get this, what happens when you get a yellow howley or turmeric stain on your school uniform, and then you wash it with soap? It turns bright red. No way, right? But why? That is chemistry happening right inside your laundry bucket. Once we start noticing these little things, the whole world turns into our very own laboratory. And that brings us to the little sparks of curiosity glowing all around us. Just think about a glowing lamp. We use electricity every single day, right? But have you ever stopped to wonder what kinds of materials we actually need to make a lamp glow? Or why some things let electricity pass through them and others completely block it? And think about your flashlight. We know from experience that a torch battery eventually just runs out and dies. But why? Where did all that energy actually go? Exploring these questions takes us straight into the super fascinating world of physics and material properties. But hey, we don't just look at the tiny things. Science helps us look way up, too. Think about a globe or satellites orbiting the Earth. Long before we had electric clocks and digital smartwatches, early humans just watched the shadows cast by the sun. They actually used the shifting positions of those shadows to tell time. Isn't that unbelievably clever? And by just asking questions about how light and shadows work, we've gained this massive understanding of the entire universe. It explains day and night, how the Earth rotates, and even how the Earth and Moon cast giant shadows on each other to create absolutely stunning eclipses. Which brings me to one of my absolute favorite quotes. Read it with me. To be a wise person, you must be a wise person. Spelled W-H-Y-S. I seriously love that so much. The ultimate secret to being a real scientist isn't about already having all the right answers. Not at all. It's about asking the absolute best questions. The greatest scientists don't just answer the questions handed to them. They look at the world and ask amazing, totally unexpected questions that no one else has even thought of yet. So I think it's time we actually put this into practice. I'm going to challenge you directly right now.
Usually in school or on a test, you're given a bunch of questions and you just have to find the right answers. But today, we are completely turning that upside down. Welcome to Activity 1.1, Question the Answer. I'm going to give you the answers, and your job is to invent the most curious, creative, and totally fun questions or situations that could possibly lead to them. Let me show you exactly how this works before I give you your real challenges. Suppose the answer I give you is simply, just make it half. Now, put your explorer hat on. What kind of question could possibly have just make it half as the perfect response? Look at all these completely different situations. The question could be, how do we make sure we get equal shares of this massive cake? Answer, just make it half. Or maybe, oh no, my science essay is way too long, what do I do? Answer, just make it half. It could even be, I can't fit this big letter into this tiny envelope. Or, I'm way too tired, I cannot dance to such a long song. See what I mean? Just one answer, but so many wildly imaginative questions. In this game, there are absolutely zero wrong questions. You've got to let your imagination run totally wild. All right, are you ready? Here is your very first official challenge as a young science explorer. The answer is, because the cat's teeth were crooked. What on earth is the question? I want you to really think about it. What bizarre, funny, or even totally logical situation would make someone look right at you and say, because the cat's teeth were crooked? Take a second, pause, and think of your absolute best question. Okay, let's try this one. The answer is, just add some milk. So, what is the question? Is it about trying to fix a cake that's way too dry? Is it a trick for cooling down a super spicy curry? Or maybe it's something totally weird, like a magical secret potion. Remember, having a curious mindset means looking right past the obvious stuff. What's the absolute most creative question you can invent for just add some milk? Let's push that creativity even further outside the box now. The answer is, don't panic, I have my towel. What is the question? Are you about to get completely splashed by a massive wave at the beach? Did you just spill a giant sticky glass of orange juice everywhere? Or are you maybe traveling across the entire galaxy and just need to be prepared for anything? Think of the absolute wildest scenario you possibly can. And here is your final challenge for this activity. The answer is just the number 42. Now wait a second, I have to warn you right now. You have to be super creative here. Please, no obvious boring math questions like, what is 32 plus 10? We are scientists, we're explorers. What is a fascinating, complex, or just straight up hilarious question where the absolute only logical response is exactly the number 42? You all did absolutely amazing with that. See how fun it is to twist things around and really flex your curiosity? As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with one final real-world challenge. When this explainer is over, I want you to walk around your house or maybe step out into your garden and just observe. Find one totally ordinary thing, like a weird shadow, a drop of water, or a cooking ingredient in the kitchen, and just ask yourself, why? Why does it look like that? Why does it act like that? Remember, the greatest discoveries in human history started with someone exactly like you looking at something completely ordinary and bravely asking, why? Keep exploring, my friends, and never, ever stop asking questions.